Talk about how much work is done for you in terms of defining a character, where she's sort of draped in the iconography of these sort of religious, this sort of religious stuff, and how much work you have to do to sort of get inside her head.
Quite a bit for this one, actually. Scott Stewart, I don't know if you've talked to him, but he's, there is no stone that Scott Stewart has left unturned. I mean, this man knew exactly what he wanted for this film, his vision. He knew how he wanted to develop these characters, and was really open to sort of everything that we kind of, were excited about as well. But it's very character driven, this film, unlike you don't typically see that a lot with action films. But it was really important to him and to all of us that these characters were fully developed. And we're talking about backstory all the way, possible futures, everything. We went through every single scenario and decided on a bunch of stuff, which matters, actually. When I see the film and I understand sort of only things that they have implied that we've created for ourselves in our head and our heart, it mattered and it showed. So the work was completely worth it. It was great.
Well, how tough is it to sort of tap into that feeling of longing and kind of sacrifice that your character has to, and then at the same time, what sort of environment for you is most conducive to be able to tap into that? I mean, do you need a set that is more relaxed so you can sort of relieve that tension, or do you want a set that is more sort of serious so that you're not, I guess, distracted?
I've gotten to a point. I'm very lucky. There were times in my career when I was younger, I think, when I needed sort of, outwardly to have certain things so that I could give inwardly, put it that way. And these days I feel like I'm sort of able to bring what I need to bring under any circumstance, because you can't control those things, and because sort of like being frustrated by them or wanting things that don't happen outwardly is so completely futile. And if you don't get them, you don't want it to be something that messes up your process. You have to sort of become an actor, especially on an action set, who can kind of bring it whenever. I think that's really the gift. I mean, a lot of people talk about actors and they're, well, what is it? It's like, well, it's that's it. It's about bringing it when you have to. Mm-hmm. We had a really fun set, which was great because it is a heavy movie and it is sort of very serious. And, the minute that we weren't working, we were laughing. And that actually helped a lot, because I think you can't stay in a dark place for that long. I mean, you can, but it's a painful place to be. And for us, there is a lot of emotion in this movie and a lot of darkness and a lot of hurt that it's sort of boiling under the surface, and so you need to feel that in a very real way to sympathize with what they've been through, these priests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're obviously no stranger to action, but sort of what was the learning curve like, or what sort of preparation did you have to do to get sort of comfortable with the idea of, if you're not necessarily breaking the laws of physics, then you're certainly sort of bending them.
We are bending them, and that's a good word, because for the priests they're not superheroes. They are people with heightened abilities. And because they have certain abilities, the church was able to capitalize off of them, bring them in as the protectors of these cities and the protectors of the people. And so it was very quite the exploitation, if you ask me. And so these characters, they're not so far-reaching that you can't understand them, or you can't feel sort of where they're going or how they got there. And we didn't want that. We didn't want them to feel like superheroes, because they're not. And another thing that sort of drives that point home is that they have real emotion about the things that have happened to them. So that also was great too. Yeah.